Well, hello, cosmic beings from Earth and beyond. Welcome to the Cosmic Download. My name is Jace. I forgot right in the beginning to bring something to smudge with. I was like, oh no, I don't have any sage or chaparral or anything. So I ran across the room and got some sweetgrass to do our opening ceremonial smudge. So welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome everybody that's coming in right now. Welcome We Are One. Welcome King Eli. Welcome Amy. Welcome Claudette. Welcome Woke One. Welcome Angelito. Welcome Ascension Diaries. Let's get this sweetgrass going a little more. Sweetgrass is one of my favorites. Oh, if you've never burned sweetgrass, just makes everything peaceful. I want to give a huge shout out to Amy for sending us this amazing care package. Amy sent us this like amazing care package of crystals and all sorts of like goodies in there, and it was amazing. So thank you so much to Amy who sent us that. That was like such a pleasant surprise. It's always cool when people send stuff and you open the gifts and it's like Christmas. Welcome Brooklyn. Welcome Naomi. Man, I'm like a little nervous for this one today. I feel like I look a little sweaty. It is a little hot in this room. There's a lot to talk about, like a lot of really interesting stuff. And yeah, we're gonna dive into it. We're gonna go over, of course, a little bit of crypto news, but not as much as other stuff. This is mainly going to be on the world events and stuff that are happening, not so much crypto, but we will cover a little crypto. We're going to talk about the weird Richard Grenell tweets and Google thing this morning where it said he was president. We're going to talk about DNI Ratcliffe going on Fox News and talking about UFOs and I think it's the congressional countdown to the Pentagon revealing their UFO information. We're also going to talk about Mr. Biden taking on stairs, how that went for him. And we'll talk about Myanmar and what's going on there with Soros and the Soros Foundation and how it's a really good idea to watch what's going on in Myanmar right now. And we'll talk about some other stuff that comes up too. I've got another list. I've got tabs and then I've got a little bit of a list. So yeah, just kind of waiting for everyone to get in right now. Welcome. So let's see. I'm going to have a sip of my tea and then we'll get into this. So today is a very special day. One, of course, you might already know, it's the equinox, the spring equinox, which is a beautiful time. And in addition to it being the spring equinox, it is also the Persian New Year of Nowruz. And I have Persian heritage a little bit. I'm not completely Persian, but I do have Persian in me. And as a kid, we would celebrate Nowruz, on the equinox. And this little table here, that's called a half-seen table, where basically there's a bunch of items that start with the letter S, I think, in Farsi. And it's like a little altar. And so it's Nowruz, and not only is it the Persian New Year, but it is the Persian New Century. I think it's year 1400 exactly. So it's like the equivalent of, it being like, I guess not as quite as cool as it being like the year 2000, but not a new millennia, but a new century, year 1400 in the Persian calendar. So happy equinox, happy Persian New Year. I just pulled this up like 5 minutes before. Strong auroras likely all weekend in northern U.S. states as geomagnetic storm strikes on equinox. That's kind of an intense title, huh? As geomagnetic storm strikes on equinox. Oh, I notice I'm having a little bit of a green screen issues here. I have a new lighting system that I'm messing around with and still getting used to it. So green screen effects might be a little off. But yeah, if you live in the northern U.S. states or Canada, or even on the other side of the world in the northern hemisphere, you might see some auroras, which would be really, really awesome. I've never seen them in my life, but it is definitely a goal of mine to see the aurora, to feel it while I'm still here. I think it's probably one of the most magical things to experience. So, yeah, we'll just cover crypto prices real quick before we jump into the other stuff, and then we'll come back around to crypto. I actually don't even really know what order I want to do things in today. Like I have my tabs in an order, but I kept shuffling them around right before. If you guys have a suggestion on which of those topics you want to start with right now, let me know, and maybe we'll start with that one. So Bitcoin is at $59,000 right now. It's all-time high. It was like 61,000 just a couple days ago. So basically, it's kind of hitting that resistance again. And if it clears 60,000, it could keep on going. Just as far as, chart analysis, Ethereum is at 1,800. Binance 271. It's still pretty crazy that Binance has gone all the way up to number 3 and XRP is down to number 7. I remember just a couple months ago when XRP was number 3, fighting for number 2 with Ethereum with market cap. It was literally overtaking Ethereum. And then the whole SEC case happened, the cabal attack on it, all the exchanges pulling, and gone. So now we're down at 7, but it's going to come back up. I'm not worried about it. In fact, today we were seeing pretty good XRP increases, up 10% today. We're at 52 cents. So that's pretty good. Here's the daily chart. So we're getting there. And, while we're talking about this, let me pull up Twitter. And I want to show you guys a Mr. Pool post that might get you hyped. And yes, if you're looking at this Twitter wondering what it is, this was a backup Twitter I made that also got banned. So, yes. All right, so Mr. Pool, I've talked about Mr. Pool before. If you're not familiar, Mr. Pool is another 17 type entity, but rather than using texts and string phrases, Mr. Pool uses imagery. And Mr. Pool will post pictures and then delete them immediately, like within a second. And so there are other pages that you have to go to, just third-party people that gather the posts into one place. So FOJAK, Fojak is one of those third-party ones that gathers them. But if you see here, some of them, they stick around. Mr. Pool will keep them up for a while. Other ones are taken out immediately. But one of the things that I look at almost every day is not only what Mr. Pool is posting, but what Mr. Pool is liking. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to start with this one. Actually, let's start with this one. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but it was about the Ripple creating a private XRP ledger for the central banks as basically a way to get their foot warmed up in the water of a public ledger. And that's when David Schwartz gave that metaphor of if you're building a garden for a customer and they want a walled garden and they refuse to not have a walled garden, you build them a walled garden and you give them a big red button that says lower walls and you wait. And so basically it's them getting their foot in the water, but they don't want to be public, right? The banks don't want to be public, and XRP is a public ledger. So they don't want all their transactions public, but that's where it's going to go eventually. And they're going to find that they're not going to have the same kind of service and customer exchange without being on the public ledger. So that was one liked by Mr. Pool. This other one is from David Schwartz. David Schwartz is one of my favorite people. I often call him the Trump of cryptocurrency. And he is, just as a recap, one of the top cryptographers in the world, meaning working with cryptography and code and the encoding of language and decoding of language, cryptography, very similar to what 17 does. He also is an ex-NSA agent, probably not just ex, but he worked at the NSA for many years, probably still some kind of contractor or something. And he created XRP. He is the one that created the XRP ledger, and I endearingly call him Space Sasquatch because he looks like a Sasquatch man. And I'll show you a picture of him just in case you haven't seen him. Oh, that's a different David Schwartz. David Schwartz Ripple. There we go. There's our Space Sasquatch guy. He is not a human. I mean, he is, but in here, he's not a human. So a lot of people, including myself, think it's very possible that David Schwartz is Mr. Pool and has been, part of these Ripple Riddlers, including Bearable Guy and the other Ripple Riddlers. And so Mr. Pool liked a photo from David Schwartz of a golden sunrise overlooking a cruise ship on the water. And there's a lot of kind of esoteric symbolism behind that I won't go into as deep because it requires a lot of kind of diving into the previous posts and the symbolism around the rising sun, but there's a lot of symbolism around basically the golden age and the golden sun and the rise of the new age and everything like that. So that was really cool to see Mr. Pool like that, because I know a lot of people too might not even realize that Mr. Pool is intimately tied with XRP. I know some people just know of Mr. Pool in like other contexts. So this is kind of definitive proof that Mr. Pool is very much related to XRP, because David created XRP. And then this is the main one I wanted to talk about. Mr. Pool liked this: major XRP breakout to occur in 2021. Cryptomaniac 101 XRP chart. And so in this chart, we see a guessed, price analysis of where the price could go. There's like 2 lines here. But in either case, what we see is basically we come up to the top of this ascending channel. Maybe we stop right below it. Maybe we go above it. But that's relative to like $20 to $150, this kind of area right here, $20 to $150, which is the price target for a lot of the official analysts, like the people that aren't into the, I don't know, I guess you could say conspiracy side of things as much. The pure price analysis, mathematical people, they're saying XRP could go anywhere from $10 on the conservative side to $120-ish on the more generous side. And I think that's still conservative as well, like in the long run. But that's exactly what we see here, right? We see it coming up to the like $20 to $150 range, and then there's a big correction, right? So this looks, if we're going to take this literally, if we actually are, not saying it will be literally, but if we were to look at the date, it looks like mid 2021 is when that big jump happens. And then near the end of 2021 is when we get the correction coming down, which could be really scary for a lot of people who hold and might, they might be scared into selling, because that shows it coming down below $5. So if we go to 100 and then come down to 5, that could scare a lot of people. That's where you got to have diamond hands, hodl. And then, we see it right around the end of 2021 going into 2022 is when it really takes off, and the chart shows it going beyond $700. So if this is actually, a message to us, it's fascinating. Now, again, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that's how it's going to happen, but it's possible. This is like I don't even know who Cryptomaniac is, third party person, but Mr. Pool tends to like a lot of their stuff, so that's really interesting. All right, I'm going to jump over to the comments real quick. Love from England. That's awesome. Love to England. Good morning, good morning. Happy Equinox. Ether Revival says, what do you know about XDC? I will get back to that in a little bit. We'll come back to crypto, because some of the stuff, I know people want to kind of get into other stuff, but I will answer that. Good to see you, Matthew. Glad you're here. 777 says Angelito. That would be pretty awesome, right? I mean, I would not doubt that. I've been seeing a lot of 7s lately. And I kind of associate 7 with Pleiadian energy too. So, and the Pleiadians, if we're kind of diving into that a little bit specifically, I feel like that's who is giving me the nudge. Several groups, but much of it coming from Pleiadian groups that were giving me the nudge to look into XRP initially. By the way, I totally forgot. These aren't real glasses. I don't wear prescription glasses. These are blue blocking glasses, because I've been doing a lot of work on the computer, and like I have a double screen set up right here, and it's been straining my eyes, and I've just been getting like the message over and over to wear blue light blocking glasses when using the screens. So I have been, and it's been helping. My brain feels not as fried when I'm using the screen technology. So I would recommend them. These were like, it was like, I don't know, like $12 for 2 of them on Amazon or something. And they even sent you like a little thing to show you that it blocks blue light, where you shine the blue light on a card and it makes an imprint, and then you put the lens down and it doesn't go through. I don't know if that science is actually legit as far as like what blue light does to us and if that correlates to it, but until I can get a more expensive pair that is probably better quality, I'm going to use these ones. Okay, just to answer the XDC thing real quick, because I don't want to forget that. XDC, I'm a big fan of. I hold XDC. It's currently my 3rd largest holding behind XRP and StormX. I actually had exactly the same amount of StormX and StormX and XDC but my StormX took off, so now it's a larger holding than XDC. But I think XDC is going to be really important. It's a part of the ISO 222 infrastructure, and which is a protocol for basically how the financial system will work with the banks. You can look that up. ISO, it's like 20020, something like that. And the coins that are listed on there are XRP, XLM, Algorand, IOTA, XDC, and I think maybe another one. And there's a chart that you can look at that shows how each coin is going to operate within the financial system with the various groups like Swift and stuff. So it's interesting because while XRP is kind of overtaking Swift, XDC on that chart is actually working with Swift. So this is where we're going to get like an ecosystem, I think, of coins. It's not going to be like one is, any better than the other, which is something I've talked about before, right? Like we're not trying to find a one currency to do everything. We want an ecosystem of energies and currencies that work together. And that is the way of the new earth, I believe, not one coin to rule them all, which is kind of what Bitcoin wants to be. And a lot of the other coins out there too. Libra, good example. Failed project, thank goodness. But Libra was Facebook's one world currency. Where can you buy XDC? I get my XDC on BitTrue. So what I have to do, because BitTrue isn't technically, I guess it doesn't work in the US, but the app works. So I use the app, not the website. And I will buy XRP on Uphold and send it to BitTrue and then swap the XRP into XDC. P. Kennedy says, hey man, I read someplace that XRP is going to be connected to the US dollar and XLM connected to the euro. Is that true? So I saw that analogy too, or, prediction or theory. I'm not sure what to call it. Anything is possible. Like, I feel like, so what he's referring to is there was a graphic that said XRP for America, XLM for Asia, XDC for Asia, XLM for Europe. And it's kind of like, when people compared them to the heavy metals, like when people say XRP is gold, XLM is silver, XDC is copper. In both scenarios, it could literally work out that way. Like that's possible, but I also take it more metaphorically and energetically, symbolically than I do literally. Like for the nations, for example, I think that all of these currencies are going to be international. At least they're intended to be. Now, I guess it could work out in a way where each one corresponds to, say, a continent if the regulatory clarities are slightly different in each country and maybe one coin is slightly better tiered for that country. So say like for whatever reason, XRP works with regulatory clarity better in the US, XDC works with regulatory clarity better in Asia, XLM in Europe. Totally possible. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any like physical evidence that would show that that actually is going to happen, but theoretically it could. And the same thing with gold and the other heavy metals. Like there's a lot of analogies comparing these heavy metals to the cryptos and saying that they're going to be pegged, which is possible. Like there is a theoretical timeline where, gold could be pegged to XRP. Is it likely? Probably not. I think it's more of an energy. Like XRP is the kind of the energy of gold in the new system, XLM, the energy of silver, et cetera, et cetera. Grabsanon says, love your work. Thank you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Or woman. I can't assume. We're anons. Claudette says, I just booked my first hypnosis regression session. I'm so excited. I'll add a question for my higher self about digital currencies. I'll let you know what comes out. Ooh, that's awesome. I would love to hear how that goes. Yeah, I think I've talked about in relation to like channelings and cryptocurrency, Ivan Teller does channelings. You can find his YouTube channel, Ivan Teller. I've only been following him for a little bit, but people pointed out to me that he was talking about cryptocurrencies in a lot of his channelings and about how it was a technology like seeded here from the galactics, and a lot of the names for each of the currencies are actually names of different planets or star systems that are being like adopted here. Who knows how literally, like, translated to English or whatever, but the sentiment of that energy resonates. I really do think we're being introduced into the interplanetary financial system with the blockchain, and the blockchain is like just it's the name we give to the technology that is a very basic technology that I think all these interstellar cultures use, and then we just happen to adopt our version of it and put the name blockchain on it, or cryptocurrency. But really, it's just like a transparent. Really, all blockchain is a transparent, like snapshot of a series of events. So the blockchain is, you have a block of time, and then you have a bunch of blocks, and they make a chain, which I kind of think of like the 3D reality is like a bunch of blocks of 2D frames that when you run them at once, we have a 3D reality, but it's divided up into infinite individual blocks of frames. And the blockchain is kind of just that same concept of natural law, but with, technology, which is transparent. Like, that's what we need. I really believe that's what we need, because the current financial systems, they're already operating digitally, but they're not transparent. They're all based on fake numbers. It's just a number in your bank account. It's not actually backed by anything. There's not even like an algorithm behind it that's securing what it is, which is what cryptocurrency is. And I also think that it's, going back to the gold and the heavy metal thing, that it's very likely that every cryptocurrency will be backed by a heavy metal in some way or another. I feel like that's honestly the only way eventually for it all to be backed. And then we don't need to worry about like which one coin is backed more than the other, because I think they all will have a redeemable value physically in one way or another. And that way there won't be any of these concerns with like, why is this a better currency digitally than gold? They're going to be linked, right? You'll be able to exchange your crypto for physical gold and vice versa, which is the best of both worlds. Like, that's, you'd be able to send gold internationally within seconds using XRP, like physical gold using gold reserves, which is like, that's how I picture it happening. And I think it feels like that's the timeline we're on. Feels like Ripple has already won this lawsuit. Yes. Okay. Well, we might as well just get through the crypto segment now. I'm gonna play a clip from the lawsuit yesterday from my phone. It's an audio clip. It's about a minute long, and it's from the judge during the SEC Ripple case. And what they say is really interesting and very good for XRP and bad for the SEC. So, yeah, I'll play that now. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
Ripple, Bitcoin, and Ether, again, have been trading for many, many years, and the SEC apparently decided that they were not securities, not investment contracts, and these are the sister assets of XRP. And the SEC made this proclamation in 2018. And so naturally, the SEC having made that decision, SEC officials having declared that Bitcoin and Ether are not securities, they're not investment contracts, and of course those companies have not been sued, their executives have not been sued. You can check the price of Bitcoin, it's been quite a run. XRP has been treated differently, and for no good reason. And
again, this may not be relevant to the issue.
Whoa, so first of all, he says XRP has been treated differently for no good reason. Like, even just the tone of his voice and the way that he's talking about it shows you where he's kind of more aligned in his heart and in his being, which doesn't appear to be with the SEC. So the judge has the ultimate say on this, right? The SEC doesn't get to decide if XRP is a security or not. In my understanding, the judge defines whether it's a security because of the lawsuit. So they also said that Bitcoin and Ethereum were not declared securities by the SEC, and that XRP is their brother and sister coin, same type of technology. And as they'll get into more, it's actually more of a crypto technology because it has utility. So I'll keep playing this. Hopefully you guys can hear this.
And again, this may not be relevant to the issues that are before us today, but it's just helpful for me to understand. My understanding of XRP is that not only does it have a sort of currency value, but it also has a utility, and that utility distinguishes it, I think, from Bitcoin and Ether. Is that correct?
All right. So it's got a utility which distinguishes it from Bitcoin and Ether. And I'm assuming the utility which she's referring to is the speed, the scalability, the cheap ass fees, and the on-demand liquidity. So like if you were going to try to send $100 of Bitcoin, you'd probably pay like at least a $5 fee, at least a couple dollars. If you're going to try to send $100 of Ethereum, you could literally pay like a $50 fee or more, which is crazy. If you're going to send $100 of XRP, it's like fractions of a penny. And that applies to if you're sending millions of dollars of XRP, it's still going to be fractions of a penny. So the utility is there over the utility of Bitcoin and Ether. And the other thing is the type of blockchain it is. It's a new technology that it uses for the network, which is called Federated Byzantine Agreement, or FBA. Now, Bitcoin used the proof of work, which is the mining consensus, which means you need miners, and the miners determine the fees, and the miners also basically determine what happens to network. So who owns the majority of the mining operations? China. 80% or more of the mining operations are in China, and the miners control the direction of the network. So already there, Bitcoin, not going to go places. Not going to go the places we need them to for the liberation of humanity. But it's also, it's the first gen of the new technologies to come, and the first gen is not really ever the one that makes it. Ether kind of tried to improve on that in a way. The Ethereum network created the proof of stake concept, which rather than using mining, uses staking, which means you basically provide the network with your money, your value, you invest the Ether in, and you become one of the network validators in a way, and then you earn money through the proof of staking. And that also pioneered decentralized finance and everything. But the utility, like I said, the XRP holds over that is the FBA, which doesn't need proof of work, doesn't need proof of stake, which both have really large issues, especially when you're scaling them up to like global scales. And Federated Byzantine Agreement it's also way more green. It doesn't use the physical energy that the other systems use, especially Bitcoin. Proof of work, you need like physical energy, which is why the majority of the Bitcoin mining operations in China are at the base of the Three Gorges Dam, which is the biggest dam in the world, biggest power generator in the world. Pretty sure it's also the biggest man-made structure. Maybe not. Maybe the pyramid's bigger. But that dam is literally about to break. Like they're talking about almost every day, almost every week, there's reports of like new cracks and swelling. And so we talk about the dam breaking symbolically all the time. And how funny would it be if literally the dam broke and it destroyed Bitcoin and then changed this financial system? It'd be an ironic fate, I think. But maybe the dam won't break. Maybe the dam's going to keep going. They're just going to keep patching it up. Who knows? But yeah, I thought that was really good for XRP, and to just the way the judge is talking, like you can tell. So if you're holding XRP, have faith. You keep following your intuition, keep following your guidance. Of course, obviously, don't do things just because I say them. Please don't make big decisions just because I say them. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm here to share the things that bring me joy and happiness, and try to share that with you guys. So, let's see. I think that was all the crypto news. Any other last minute crypto questions before we move on to, I don't know, what should we do next? Biden taking on stairs? Or do you guys want to do the UFOs? Let's do Biden. I fell in love with the 17 movement. Alara led me to your channel. It is incredible how many people I've followed over the years that end up associating with each other. Nothing is a coincidence. Heck yeah, that's awesome. I love Alara. Good friend. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Good risk, says John Truth. Definitely know what's up with XRP and crypto, says Andy. Cool. All right. We can come back to crypto if there's anything major. Actually, let me check my list real quick just to make sure. Oh, the only one other thing is that StormX, which is one of the big coins that I think I mentioned on this channel, but Alexis and I were led to it purely based on synchronicity. not really anything logical. And it's the first coin of ours that has taken off like crazy. Like we bought in near half a cent, and now it's like, it went up to 8 cents yesterday. And then I think now it's settling around like 6.5 cents. It's having a little correction. So actually, literally right now could be, I would say if I was going to try to get in on StormX, I might buy a little bit right now because of the correction, buy the dip. Oh, wow, it's already at 7.5 cents again. Wait. Oh, yeah. So the dip might be over already. Still a little dip. But yeah, that one, it was so I was led to it because I found out that David Schwartz held some, and I saw that it was called StormX, and I was like, Storm and X are both like really prominent symbols for me in my reality. And, the storm, and then I've talked about like all these X coins, they seem to be related, and SpaceX and like all these X related projects. And so StormX, I was like, oh, what is that? And looked into it, and Alexis, meanwhile, was getting downloads. This is my wife, Alexis, getting downloads that we were supposed to invest in a unicorn coin, that there was going to be a unicorn coin, which is funny because unicorn is also kind of a like a name people give to like a coin that'll do really, really well. That's like really rare. But literally, their symbol is a unicorn. The main symbol is an X. The second symbol is a unicorn. Did I say unicorn? Unicorn. So StormX, and then the unicorn, and then the other thing I saw on the so one of the things I look at as far as return of investment is how high are we away from all-time highs? All-time highs meaning, here, let me pop over to this real quick. All-time highs meaning like the highest price that it's ever been. So I like to buy things that are far away from their all-time highs because it tells me that it's going to get to that point, right? So XRP is still like a factor of 6 or 7 away from its all-time high, right? It's like 50 cents now. All-time high was like $3.80. StormX all-time high is 25 cents. And when I found it, it was a half of a penny. And so all of those synchros, okay, see, it went up to 20 cents-ish, 25 cents. And so when I saw that on top, it gave me both sides of the picture that I needed. I had the intuitive analytical, the intuitive, like, receptive side that was like showing me synchronistically this was going to be a good investment. And then analytically, I was also seeing it was going to be a good investment. So that's kind of like my mindset when I approach these things, is I try to have like a balance of the two hemispheres and ways of knowing. So StormX, interesting stuff. But yeah, let's move on to Biden. Where do you buy StormX? StormX, you buy, yeah, great question. I probably should have mentioned that. StormX you can get on BitTrue, is the only place I know where to get it, which is also the place you can get XDC, and also the place you can get the Flare IOU token, which I don't necessarily recommend people get because I think it's probably more overpriced now than it will be upon launch. But if you want some, you can get it there. StormX you have to buy with Ethereum. It's the only pairing on there. So what I did, the cheapest way that I found to do it, was to buy XRP on Uphold, to send that XRP to BitTrue. Then I swapped the XRP into Ethereum, which they have a native pairing there. And then I swapped the Ethereum into StormX. And then I moved the StormX to my private wallet, which was crazy. They even a huge fee on that because it's an Ethereum. It was built on the Ethereum network, ERC20 coins. So all those crazy Ethereum fees apply. And so I had to pay like a $12 fee just to send like not that much at the time. It wasn't worth that much at the time. And yeah, the fee was crazy. And then if I was going to move it back to then sell it again, I'd have to pay another fee. So this is why I really dislike Ethereum, because the fees are just, they're catered for people who have a lot of money and not for the average person like us. Okay. Let's talk about, actually, let's talk about Rich Grinnell. Let's do that. Did I already talk about that? No, I didn't, right? Brain fart. So Rich Grinnell, I've just been talking about this all day, so on social media, so I'm brain farting. Richard Grinnell is the former acting director of national intelligence, and also the first openly gay cabinet member in office. Not that that matters. They didn't make a big deal of it, but Biden sure tried to make a big deal of it when he thought his first gay cabinet member was the first one. They apparently didn't do their research that Richard Grinnell was in fact out of the closet. So yeah, just some background on him. And he was the acting DNI. So he was the director of national intelligence, which is what Ratcliffe fulfilled that position later. But Grinnell filled the position for a little bit. And then he was constantly a part of the 17 kind of group of people like Scavino and the core Trump team. And like, I repeatedly got the feeling that he was involved in those groups. And he's got a really great energy too. Good guy, really good guy. So there was this thing going around where Google, if you looked up his name, was saying he was the president, literally. And he even tweeted about it right here. Google Richard Grinnell. Google says he's the president today. Here it is. And I looked this up myself, and lots of people did. Now, if you were to try now, I've heard that it's changed back to saying former DNI, but it literally said President of the United States. And not only this tells me that it was more than just like a mistake. If you searched President of the United States, it said Trump and then Richard Grinnell. Trump for, the past 4 years, and then Richard Grinnell 2021. So both searches showed that up, both for him independently and for president independently, which tells me there was something going on there. So on top of that, it's Barron Trump's birthday. So I don't know, kind of seems like maybe some of the stuff is going on purpose. The Equinox, Barron's birthday, this going on. It's a good day for some cabal trolling. And I don't know. I don't know totally what to think of this, but let's look at his tweets in response because they give a little more context. So he retweeted that and he said, "I will run up the stairs without tripping and then announce a plethora of executive orders. Stay tuned." And then he started tweeting like fake executive orders. "I hereby order an LNG terminal to be built ASAP on the west coast of the United States." I don't actually know what LNG is. LNG? Someone tell me. "I hereby order multiple desalination plants to be built in California, and I also hereby order new nuclear power plants to be built in California. Oh, and Eric Swalwell hereby loses his security clearance." Eric Swalwell being the person who slept with the Chinese spy that I don't think ever got in trouble for it. And then he retweeted that they added Rupar to the dictionary, or to the Urban Dictionary. Rupar. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I haven't actually heard of this word, but apparently it's a thing. "To purposely mislead, to completely mischaracterize a statement or video by omitting context. Did you see the press conference of that racist police officer making excuses for that criminal? Hey man, that clip was Rupar. The police officer was actually quoting the criminal. Don't Rupar me, bro." Well, this is new to me. Have you guys heard of Rupar before? Am I just like out of the loop? Amy says, "And one of Mike Pompeo's dog's birthday, I think. Dog comms." Interesting. Liquid natural gas. Thank you. LNG, liquid natural gas. Fang Fang. Yes, Eric Swalwell was Fang Fang's honey boo boo. Fang Fang Bang Bang. You guys are funny. He bang bang with the Fang Fang. Glad to see that going out already. That's bizarre about Grinnell being president, but Google has been doing a lot of things that are bizarre and illogical. Deception is their MO lately. Yep. Google is behind, good to see you, by the way, Galactivation. Google is behind HBAR, the cryptocurrency that a lot of people are really into right now. And I found it very interesting because HBAR is owned by the world's biggest companies. It's like Google, Boeing, and then like a ton of others. And their coin is not actually on a blockchain. It's on something called a hash graph, which is like a new thing. So they're already kind of deviating from like the transparency of the blockchain technology because their thing is much more private and centered to their private communications versus like XRP, which is all public ledger, public transparency. And then with HBAR, there's all this crazy symbolism around how it connects with the cult of Saturn and how they literally use the Saturn astrological sign as one of their symbols. And then there's a ton of other symbology that if you guys follow Crypto Mason, I did a roundtable interview with him and Zen God and a couple of the other guys recently on Zen God's channel. And he has a great video where he talks about the connections between HBAR and Saturn. Now, he's still pro HBAR, like he's basically like, you know, don't make it about like a good or a bad thing. The symbolism is what it is, which could be true. Like I leave the opportunity open that it's white hats behind these groups, and maybe like you're saying, galactivation, that can explain some of the odd behavior, but some of that odd behavior is also like doesn't seem like it would be good, right? So yeah, a lot of discernment to do out there, but I'll probably do a video soon talking about HBAR and the connections to Saturn, because even if you don't really, you know, aren't interested in HBAR or don't really care about that, just pointing out how like some of these cryptos are super occult on the negative side and other ones are more occult on the positive side, like XRP, it's good to have that distinction to kind of compare the polarities. Isaiah says, what you think about QFS? Do you listen to Charlie Ward? He put XRP QFS in his Telegram name. Actually, I don't listen to Charlie Ward. I only found out from somebody recently that he even talked about XRP. I've seen like one video of his, and he was, I don't know. I didn't really have an opinion. I know some people really like him. Some people really don't like him. I was just kind of neutral about it. I thought what he was saying was interesting as far as like that he had also heard about XRP and the QFS. And I say QFS a lot, and sometimes people like point out differences between what I'm explaining and what like Charlie and other people explain. And I realize that maybe they think that I'm using that word in the context of how they use it. And since I don't watch them, I'm not. I've just I don't even know why that word originally came to me, but that's just how I think of it, the quantum financial system. But the way I think of it might not necessarily be the same way Charlie thinks of it. But it is very interesting that he's into XRP and stuff. So I'm just going to keep passively kind of paying attention to that. He gives off drunk uncle vibes. Yeah. It's a good way to put it. Word feels off. And, you know, like a good, you know, discernment to have too is just because, like, say, you know, let's say hypothetically Ward is not from the light and maybe he is, you know, representing some of these darker groups. Just because he likes XRP doesn't mean XRP is bad, because XRP is a neutral technology and both the light and the dark want it. Just like Bitcoin was when it came out, both the light and the dark wanted to use it. The light for its virtues of decentralization and not needing the authority, and the dark for the same reasons. So yeah, XRP the same way. I think that's honestly the main reason why the price is artificially suppressed and why we're still seeing a sub-dollar XRP now, when every other coin has pretty much reached all-time highs. And I believe that they are keeping the price artificially low to allow the common person to buy in. So it's like the banks are buying in, but I think that they want to give people like us the opportunity to get in on this opportunity and have free will to learn about it. And it's like, it's all about free will, right? And I don't know, does that make sense to you guys? It's like the banks are like, if you look at the XRP rich list, okay, let me pull this up. If you guys don't know about this, this is a great tool. It's funny because I was like, I'm not going to talk about crypto too much on this one, but I just can't help myself. So this is ledger.exposed. But if you just Google XRP rich list, it'll come up. So this shows you like basically what percentage, like however much XRP you hold, what percent. So if you hold at least 2,195 XRP, you're in the top 10% of all XRP holders. 9,000 is top 5%, 12,000 is top 4%, 20,000 is top 3% of all XRP holders. And so you can look at the trends and you can see how, look how everybody except the top 0.01%, which would be the banks and the billionaires and stuff, everybody else sold off except them. So they know something that's keeping them, that they're not selling off. And now, look, they're buying back in. Let's see how this is coming up. And recently, these rich list stats have been increasing in like the top 1% and up. Like they've been, like whales are coming in and buying up. So how can it be that we're seeing so much activity in large amounts of purchasing, yet the price is barely moving? Well, one of the mechanisms that they're using to keep the price low is the sell-offs. So like Jed McCaleb and I'm pretty sure Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse, all of Ripple, they each have like a thing where every month, I think it's every month, they sell off like 1 million XRP or however much. And that's been happening like, you know, like clockwork for a while. And what does that do? If you're selling millions of dollars in XRP, it's going to keep the price down low. So why are they doing that? It's also one of the things that the SEC came after them for, was saying that it was some kind of fraud that they were selling. But in actuality, it's different, right? You would think that if they wanted to just make a ton of money, they would hold on to it, which would increase the price and then increase their value. But they're selling it when it's really cheap, which is also lowering the price. So the SEC is trying to claim that basically like they're just, you know, trying to screw over their customers or whatever. But it's far from the truth. It's in my understanding, they're doing it to allow people like you and me to keep buying in while the banks are buying in, and be on a level playing ground so that the banks can't just take off and run with this. So my main point being is that both light and dark are seeking this technology. The daily volume on XRP suggests price manipulation by the big guys, trading back and forward between themselves, or high frequency trading to manipulate the price. Yeah, and like what I feel like I've tapped into too is that they're using a like AI type algorithm thing to keep the price in a certain place. Could even be as simple as just having a bunch of limit orders, right? And having limit orders to sell a bunch every time it goes up, which is why so many times you'll see, like a couple days ago, XRP tried to break 60 cents. It was so bullish. It tried really hard and immediately pushed back down like a big hand. It was just like, no. But it feels like to me they're using some kind of algorithms to keep the price stable too for now. And even more of a reason why when it takes off, it's going to take off, because now imagine not only regulatory clarity in the US and other places coming, but then that suppressive hand of all the selling being lifted at the same time as the regulatory clarity coming. And then it's just going to be so much of a bulging market. It's going to be wild. Maybe the SEC is holding XRP and wants it to moon too. Well, people have been saying that they're trying to get the like 50 billion XRP that's in escrow right now, but that there's back and forth on if they could actually do it. I don't think they could for certain legal reasons, but people speculate they're trying to take a hold of all that money. Okay. So with Rich Grinnell, yeah, that was pretty much it with Grinnell. He's tweeted a couple times since, but nothing more about the president thing from what I can see. The Biden nightmare is over. Google has anointed Richard Grinnell, and Google is never wrong. Trust me, I Googled it. Oh, wow. So now it's becoming a bigger story now. This is from noqreport.com. What is that? No Q report? He tweeted something. Is it Knock Report? That's weird. They acknowledged he was the first openly gay man to hold a cabinet-level position. Psh, that's really strange, guys. Do you think Rich Grinnell is secretly our president? Has he been the acting president since the beginning? The road to hell is paved with Ivy League degrees. Ooh, 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 that's good. I like that. Savage. It's true, though. Think about Epstein. Epstein had an office at Harvard, and the guy who is the head of the Department of Biological Sciences and Chemistry, that's a huge department. The department chair at Harvard was a Chinese spy and arrested for it. So yeah, Ivy Leagues. Sorry if you have an Ivy League degree. I'm not trying to poop on your party. But if you do, I'm curious if you've seen some shady stuff. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the other DNI, John Ratcliffe, former DNI. He was the DNI under Trump. He was the one that people thought was going to bring forward the election fraud. Oh, the what? I didn't say that word. The what? You mean how it doesn't exist, right? Yeah. There's no such thing as election fraud. That's what I meant. It doesn't exist. Anyone who says that, you're just silly, right? Okay. Now that we've got that defined. DNI Ratcliffe went on Fox News to talk about the deadline for the Pentagon to disclose their UFO report and how it is drawing nearer. So the pre-context for this is that I believe it was Congress. I forget if it was Congress or the Senate. I believe Congress made like a declaration that the Pentagon had to turn over all of their UFO files within 180 days. And that was a couple months ago. So we are drawing closer. So let's go ahead and listen to him. Make a comment in the chat if the audio is not good for whatever reason, if it's too low, too loud. Make sure. Okay, should be good.
Actually is a program that's been in place for a few years in terms of a task force that has been there under the National Defense Authorization Act. But as you correctly point out, Maria, there's now a report that will be issued by the Pentagon, by the Secretary of Defense and the Director of National Intelligence. I actually wanted to get this information out and declassified before I left office, but we weren't able to get it down into an unclassified format that we could talk about quickly enough. But
he wanted to get it out before he left office, but they weren't able to do it. That's an interesting note. 5-5 on audio. Thanks, Galactivation.
Frankly, there are a lot more sightings than have been made public. Some of those have been declassified. When we talk about sightings, we're talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots or have been picked up by satellite imagery that, frankly, engage in actions that are difficult to explain, that movements that,
those are good videos,
that are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for, or traveling at speeds that, exceed the sound barrier without a sonic boom. So, in short, things that we are observing that are difficult to explain. And so, there's actually quite a few of those, and I think that information is being gathered and will be put out in a way that the American people can see. We always, when we see these things, Maria, we always look for a plausible.
Look at her face.
Weather can cause disturbances.
They're both like so stoked. They know. And if you look at these videos, I'll come back and keep playing, but look at, like, of course we've all seen probably videos like this, if not actual things, but rarely do they ever show the golden orbs on the news. That's huge. Usually they show the very mechanical, 3D, like military type of craft, but these are like Pleiadians or something. Now this one is really interesting because I never thought this was a UFO, but they love this clip. It looks more like a black chemtrail to me. But the orbs, the golden orbs, and how they just disappear like that, that's going to be really big for people watching this, like especially Fox News' base, which is really Christian. The hardcore Christians who aren't into galactic stuff or, want to say all aliens or demons type of thing. This is going to be big. And the fact that Trump's guy is the one talking about it, Trump's DNI. Like, look at that. Oh, so beautiful. It just makes me so happy that they put this on the news, because these are, I haven't even seen these particular videos, which is weird too. Like these particular ones, usually they pick the ones that like everybody has seen. I don't know where they got these from. These are some like Cabamir videos. Okay. I'll continue.
See these things, Maria, we always look for a plausible explanation. You know, weather can cause disturbances, visual disturbances. Sometimes we wonder whether or not our adversaries have technologies that are a little bit further down the road than we thought or that we realized. But there are instances where we don't have good explanations for some of the things that we've seen. And, you know, when that information becomes declassified, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that.
Oh, look at his smile.
Can you tell us where it was seen?
Oh, my God.
Actually, all over the world. There have been sightings all over the world. And when we talk about sightings, the other thing I will tell you is it's not just a pilot or just a satellite or some intelligence collection. Usually we have multiple sensors that are picking up these things. And so, you know, again, some of this are just, they're unexplained phenomenon. And there's actually quite a few more than have been made public. So I think it'll be healthy for as much of this information to get out there as possible so that the American people can see.
Dang. Oh my gosh. So we can see what? John, what are we going to see? Don't cut off. Man, his face when he said that statement, when he's like, and I might have some more things to say in the future. Oh, that smile, and then her smile, like they know, they know. Oh, I'm getting truth bumps. Truth bumps everywhere. Collectivation said the golden orbs have always been around the base where I grew up. Yeah, they seem. The place that I've seen the golden orbs the most is like in person is in Las Vegas. I remember seeing them very similar to like that, where they would just kind of hover and then disappear and then come back, and yeah, Vegas, and you know that's where Area 51 and Nellis base is. But these feel galactic in nature. And it does make sense that they would be at the bases, because a lot of times they're like, there's a lot of reports of them de-arming nuclear missiles and things like that, like official military reports of them de-arming nuclear weapons in various countries. .5 out of 5 on audio. Thanks, John. A friend of mine had a tour of a major airport air traffic control tower. They showed her an Israeli machine and said, this is the radar for everything else we don't see on the normal radar. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty neat. Okay. Moving on here. Yeah, let's talk about Biden. Biden took on some stairs. You know, ironically, I don't even have the clip pulled up of him falling on the stairs, but that's okay because I'm pretty sure most of you have seen that in at least 10 different meme forms so far. That was like my whole Instagram feed yesterday was literally just all Biden memes. Him falling one way or another. I want to talk about first this video of him in front of, well, they're saying in front of a green screen. Man, the media is so funny, the way they try to explain things. So if you didn't see this, there was a clip that was posted by The Hill earlier this week. My friend Simon Essler on Instagram did a great little comedic covering of the situation. Okay, I'm just going to let you guys watch it. Look particularly at his hands and the microphone. Oh. Psh.
Not at the moment. Have you decided when you're able to share thoughts with other countries? Is it allies or neighbors first?
Okay, we'll watch the whole thing and then we'll go back.
I've been talking with several countries already. I'll let you know that very shortly.
Now, side note, I saw some people be like, hey, I hear the helicopter, but the props aren't moving. It must be fake. With these helicopters, they start their like jet engines, because they have like combustion engines in them. Like, I'm pretty sure they use jets, and they start that before the props kick in. So just for anyone wondering about that. But the real thing to question is, what the heck is going on right here? Look at his hand. He walks up, right? He should be on the other side, right? He's not on this side of the microphone. And then look at his hand. Comes in front of the mic. It's like really bad 1990s quality editing. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. You can like see the Photoshop. Oh my gosh. Oh, behind the mic? Oh, in front of the mic. Oh, no, now he's behind. He's behind it right here. Oh, now he's in front of it. Oh, and there he's in front of it. Now he's behind it. Oh, now he's in front of it. Okay, so how did the MSM try to explain this doozy? They said, well, first of all, they really ran with the green screen theory, which to me, it's not green screen. I mean, it could maybe be green screen if it's in a studio, but it's just editing. It's just video editing. And so they tried to say that, oh, there was another camera angle that showed that this didn't happen, and that it's just a warping of the camera. And I really tried to understand how it could be that. I really tried, and I don't see it. I don't. It's like they came up with the only thing that could maybe make sense if you didn't think about it, and you're just like, oh, yeah, it's the news, of course. Yeah, Biden, of course he's real, right? As a real person. Don't question it. They even say, the pictures added to the Getty also show a number of angles of the exchange with nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, you mean like they didn't mess up the other Photoshops? They got those ones right, but they messed up this one. In fact, the claim that a green screen was used is not compatible with how green screens work. I'd kind of agree. Like, doesn't look like green screen, looks like straight up Photoshop. As CGI images are added behind the individual, not in front, as the first angle appears to show. So they try to pick it apart just by trying to pick apart how it could not have been a green screen particularly, because it's outside and everything. And, oh, it's just ridiculous. It's so funny. Never fall 3 times. It's bad luck. He fell on the 13th step. That's interesting. 9/11 editing. Oh, yep. That's right. And it's got to be on purpose, right? Like, we're going to get into... Oh, I guess I don't have any... My intention was to pull up some of the other clips of him, like his head disappearing, if you guys seen that. I'll have to do those in the next video. But there are several clips like this where he is clearly not a real person. And we've showed the one where he has the mask hole flapping on the bottom. And you guys have probably seen the one where his like eyes like all droopy down here. And personal opinion, I do think that they were using clones for a while. And it seemed like ramping up to the election that they were using clones, and it was like they were continuously getting older and failing. But now it's almost like the clone thing, they're just like not even trying that anymore. Who knows why? Maybe, I don't know. You could speculate. But now there's like straight up evidence that it's CGI and people in masks over like a clone. So it's got to be on purpose, right? Like there's no way this is not like them trying to make it obvious. Or they're just really getting bad. But man, if this is genuine, how like they're doing this poorly, that's pretty sad. It's got to be white hat. It's got to be. I saw fact checked over this video, but they don't prove the video wrong. Yeah, exactly. It's like this article. Like they try to say, all they say is that there were other angles that didn't show that. Oh, no, duh, because you didn't mess up on those ones. It makes sense only to those already primed for brainwashing. Yep. They fixed the problem with more BS. A friend suggested that they may be doing this on purpose to mess with us because they know that we go ham over this stuff. I guess that's possible, but to me it feels like it's like a tease. I don't know. It feels like it's on purpose to get us excited and like giving evidence to give to normies too, to show them like, hey, look what's going on, bro. It seems like Operation Wake Up. They keep making dumb mistakes. It has to be White Hat. That's what Sarah said. Divine says, I think they're setting us up so next time they can get busted with green screen. They can say it was already debunked. Yup. They have no money for quality effects. Oh, real quick, guys, now that I think of it, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, would love to have you here as part of the community. I'm live every Saturday at noon PST, and then I make sometimes other videos throughout the week, but live streams on Saturdays. So if you like this, if you're enjoying, please hit subscribe, hit that like button, and if you feel like it, I'd appreciate it if you shared, like maybe to a group or something, if you are enjoying this material. All right, let's jump into, okay, let's finish out the Biden stuff. I have to rearrange my tabs here. Okay, well, Putin challenges Biden to debate after U.S. president calls Russian counterpart a killer. So, Putin called Biden, sorry. Biden called Putin a killer. Putin responded by saying it takes one to know one. It's like kindergarten all over again, guys. And then Putin challenged Biden. Wow, these names are like tongue twisters. Putin challenged Biden to a live debate, which is hilarious because obviously that's not going to happen, probably. If it did, that'd be pretty cool. But let's see, I have another link here about this. Nope. There we go. I'll show you the Sean Hannity clip. By the way, did you guys see that clip of Hannity smoking his jewel? They came back from break too early and he was like puffing on his jewel, which I found a video of him from like a year ago doing the same thing with like an e-cigarette, like the one that looks like cigarettes. I guess that's just his thing, which, you know, apparently he used to smoke cigars. He's trying to get off cigars, so he's vaping instead of smoking. You know, I'm not going to judge you. Even though I think that vapes do have a lot of, I when it comes to tobacco versus vaping, I think that the natural herb, not the chemically ones that they sell in mass production, but if you can get a hold of some like real, like Native American quality tobacco, that's way better for you than vapes. Just my personal opinion. But, you know, compared to the Marlboros and Camels and all the other poison sticks, vapes might not be as bad as that. But my point being, I'm not going to judge Hannity for that. I thought it was funny because he basically came back and you can hear someone going, Sean, and then he looks up and he pulls the thing out of his mouth real quick and his face is just like this. He clicks his earpiece on and he's like, uh-oh. All right, let's play this clip.
Now, question is this. Why would Vladimir Putin immediately call for a debate with Joe Biden with no time to prepare? What have I been saying? What have some of us, half the American people, saying? The media mob in this country, they protect all things radical socialist Joe Biden and his administration. Now, question is this. Why would Vladimir Putin immediately call for a debate with Joe Biden with no time to prepare?
It's 111.
What have I been saying? What have some of us, half the American people, saying? The media mob in this country, they protect all things radical socialist Joe Biden and his administration.
So obviously Putin knows that they weren't going to be able to do that and that they would decline it in some way. But the banter back and forth, I just feel like Putin is just having fun. And I feel like Putin's part of the alliance, honestly. Like I don't get bad vibes from Putin. And I know a lot of other people out there agree on that. You know, despite his past, or what we've been told is his past, or that he's some merciless killer or whatever. You know, a lot of the channelers, pretty sure Cabamir says this too, that Putin and Trump are actually like friends beyond this lifetime, and that they came here with a divine soul mission to basically bring together, you know, very succinctly, mission. Obviously missions are bigger than that, but they came here with a mission to like do this thing and bring these energies together. And if I feel that, I don't know, I feel like they're friends beyond this lifetime. And the irony is that the MSM tries to make it look like they're friends, but in a bad way, because they, you know, make Russia look evil, but China look good. And so that's the irony, is that they have to, if that's true, they pretend not to be friends, but there's like maybe an unspoken brotherhood between them. NASA never lie, just more than 200 anomalies detected. Do you think all this happening will lead to Kamala being president? That would be pretty interesting. I would not doubt that that's possible. Like somebody above just said, Operation Wake Up. That I feel like we're on Operation Wake Up. And if that's what it takes, you know, if Joe dying and then Kamala taking over and there being some kind of really obvious thing going on there is a catalyst for the collective consciousness, then that might be what needs to happen. Glad you guys agree about Putin. I figure most people do. If you're researched on this stuff, I think generally people see what's going on that level. All right, let's move into the Myanmar stuff, but real quick, while we have people here, wow, 55 viewers, 54 viewers, that's awesome. It's like every stream we're getting slightly higher. I wanted to give myself a shout out, plug myself. The crypto sessions that I've been doing, I just wanted to give a reminder for people that are on right now. I've been doing one-on-one crypto coaching on like basics, mainly for people that like need just kind of the basics help of like figuring out where to purchase, how to make your first purchase, how to send crypto from one wallet to another, where to store your crypto, what's the difference between a wallet and an exchange, even so far as like talking about particular coins, like really whatever. With these sessions, we've been talking about a lot of different things. Sometimes we go into some random topics, but I've done like maybe like 10 or 15 so far, and they've all been amazing. And I was a little worried I was going to be drained after all of them, but they've been going really smooth, and the energy flow between like the people that have been doing it with me has been really great, and people have been really grateful, and I've been grateful. And so if that is something that calls to you, like some help with crypto, or if you just want to chat with me one-on-one and get to know my opinion on some more of this stuff in detail, send me an email down below. divinesovereignbeings@gmail.com is my main email, or you can go to my website, divinesovereignbeings.com, and shoot me a message there. That you can sign up through the website, or you can go on Instagram at JaceToFace. Here, let's do this. Intermission. Here's my links. Oh no. Apparently my camera thing's a little off. Here, let's move this guy. Real time, fourth wall breaking. Okay. Yeah, these are my links. I'm also on Telegram. I think it's t.me/Cosmic Origins channel, but I'm going to have to double check. But if you look up Cosmic Origins channel, there's also a chat. Channel's got like 350 people in it. Chat's got like almost 100. It's a good place to touch base with other people about all this stuff. And then if you want to just send me a donation, what is going on here? If you want to send me a donation, I've got a PayPal you can send to, and then crypto links also down below if you want to support the channel. This is funny. I'm so giant. There we go. All right. Yeah. So email me if you're interested in that stuff. Bought some orgonite. Sweet. Orgonite. I've got a giant piece of orgonite here from our friend Christina Lee Dobbs. Big shout out to Christina Lee Dobbs. She makes incredible orgonite. Incredible. Just got to give you a huge shout out. This was a custom piece. It's got an ammonite. It's got peridot. It's got like Egyptian sand from one of the temples there. It's got malachite and nickel, and I'm pretty sure that's sodalite. And then the bottom is like so intricate too. So if you guys want like legit the best orgonite I've ever seen and worked with, and it's smooth. It's like so many times orgonite, you know, it's hard to get it smooth, and it's smooth. So yeah, check out Christina. Oh, I wish I had a link or something to her, but I think if you look up Christina Lee Dobbs on Instagram, you'll find her. Also got some other random ones here too. Here's another little one. Yay, orgonite. We talked about orgonite on our last roundtable with the Kangs over on Zen God's channel. If you don't know about Zen God, go check out his channel. Him and I have been working together more lately. I just did an interview on his channel the other day, which is pretty fun. We talked about everything from crypto to Sedona to my awakening with aerospace and learning about secret space programs when I was in college and stuff, which I feel like I'll make a video about on here one of these days, because I don't think I've ever told my story on my channel to that degree. But yeah. K. Reyes says, I've not researched orgonite, but need to. Oh, yeah. So for the rundown that people don't know about orgonite, orgonite is, it's basically an energy purifier. The science behind it was developed by, oh gosh, people are going to be upset at me because I don't remember the guy's name, but the guy who created orgonite, I'm going to look it up real quick. Wikipedia defines orgone as a pseudo-scientific concept, variously described as an esoteric energy or hypothetical universal life force. Yeah, so orgone is essentially another name for the life force energy. Orgonite, I can't find the guy's name. Someone drop it in the chat if you remember the guy's name. But the science of it is that it uses alternating layers of organic and inorganic materials, and it filters out like the I want to say it's the positive ions. I don't remember exactly. Maybe I shouldn't have tried to explain it. But you can look up like how orgonite works on YouTube, and I just know specifically it's the alternating layers of organic and inorganic that really do the energy purification. And then it's really useful for filtering the toxins of electromagnetic radiation and waves. So I put mine right next to my, what is that thing called, a router. Other people people bury them at cell phone towers and stuff, and it really does help. People have shown experiments where it does a reduction in the harmful energy. To get the more scientific aspects of it, definitely do your own research, but that's the gist of it. Now, some things look like orgonite like this, but technically aren't. Like, this is a really pretty cool thing with like stuff in it, but technically I'm pretty sure it's not orgonite because it doesn't have the alternating layers of organic, inorganic. So just something to be aware of. If you're purchasing orgonite for those effects, make sure that they are built right, because some of them are more just for like, you know, to look nice, and they still have the energy of the crystals in them and stuff, but the actual orgone circulatory effect will only be achieved if it's done correctly. William Reich. There we go. Wilhelm Reich. Thank you, Eva. Thank you, Joyful Diamonds. Said it was a good interview. Appreciate that. Holy hand grenades. Okay. Let's talk about Myanmar Military Junta? I don't actually know that word. Seizes bank accounts of George Soros Open Society Foundation over charges of funding opposition protests. Whoa, that's a big headline. So, The military in Myanmar has seized control of the bank accounts of billionaire George Soros' Open Society Foundation, accusing it of funding the massive protests that has gripped the country. Whoa, that sounds pretty familiar, right? Local authorities detained Pew Pa Pa Thaw, an official from the Open Society, and are looking to arrest 11 other employees on suspicion the controversial NGO passed funds to opponents on a February 1st coup. Opponents of the military junta launched a civil disobedience movement to press the generals to reverse their coup, to free detained government leader Aung San Suu Kyi, and to recognize her party's November 8th election history. According to a report, the Global New Light of Myanmar, a publication seen as a mouthpiece of the military, the Open Society Myanmar organization transferred funds without seeking permission from the Foreign Exchange Management Department. So anyway, the gist of it is that Myanmar has been going through kind of what we expected the United States to go through last year, but it didn't go through. And if you remember, Mike Pompeo said back in like August, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that they were going to be watching the election in Myanmar very closely, and made that very apparent, right? Like, why say that, right? And then we found out with the election that they used the same voting systems that we used. They used the Smartmatic, DOMINION. Did I spell that right? I don't want to say it. They used the same voting systems. And what happened was they had their election. It was messed up, just like this one. And like a month later or something, the military did a takeover, which our MSM called a coup, and the cabal called a coup. But the military did a takeover, arrested a lot of the government, and took over and said that basically there was going to be a new election that was going to be for the people. And I don't believe that's happened yet. But it's like very on point with what I think could go on here. And it's almost like a trial run. So very interesting. Hey, good to see you, Ambi. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so like on top of all those things we already saw, and then now we're seeing that they're seizing the bank accounts of the Soros Foundation over like the protests. So spot on with what I think could be happening here very, very soon. Keep watching Myanmar. Now, this is from Reuters, and if I'm right, I kind of just gave this a brief scan, but I'm pretty sure it was talking about it in like a reverse kind of context, basically saying that it was a coup, and that the military was the one at fault and all this stuff. So we're seeing both sides of the story. Yeah, Soros Philanthropic Group demands release of staff member held in Myanmar. Oh, poor Soros. Poor Soros. I'm sure that your staffer did nothing wrong. He's probably a great guy, just like you, right? Is that what I'm supposed to say, YouTube? Did I do it right? Did I do the thing? Here's another one. Myanmar regime seizes bank accounts of Soros Open Society Foundation. So it's kind of hard to find anything from the MSM on this that's not in negative light. But it is out there in multiple independent news sources. So, yeah. Yes, positive ions, sort of like a salt lamp, so the EMF from your electronics put out to the many positive ions. Thank you so much for the amazing gifts you sent us. Those were like incredible. Opening those up and seeing the orgonites and the crystals and the Apollo and like all the energy that you put into it, that was amazing. Thank you so much for that gift. It smelled so good too. Use an EMF detector to check magnetic energy of the orgonite. Nice. Free app on any phone? Really? Phones can do EMF detection? I didn't know that. I have an EMF detector, though, like a separate little clunky thing. To catch the rat, you gather up the mice. Welcome, Dennis. Joyful. Oh, 55 views. That's a great number. I love 55. All right. Let's keep going. Oh, I guess that's it for my links. Let me check my phone because I've got a list of some other things that aren't internet based. So we got Myanmar, George Soros. We did that. Biden CGI. Ron Watkins. That's the other thing. That's in my thumbnail. So it's a good thing I didn't forget about that. MSM says that CodeMonkey is Q in the new HBO documentary about Q that is coming out soon. Wow. Ambi says, "God, good to see you. I'm actually making orgonite right now. That's why I'm not typing." Nice. Great timing. We're talking about orgonite. You're making orgonite. We just got some of your orgonite. What a great world. So, CodeMonkey, if you're not familiar, CodeMonkey, aka Ron Watkins, was or is the son of, I'm trying to think where I want to go with this. There's a couple things to say about him. I forget his dad's name. Let me look it up real quick. Charles Watkins? Wow, Ron Watkins even has his own Wikipedia page. When did this happen? This is new. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. Let's read it together. Ronald Ron Watkins. That's his wrestling name. Ronald the Ron Watkins is an American conspiracy theorist and former site administrator for the image board website 8chan. He has played a major role in spreading the discredited far-right QAnon conspiracy theory, as well as promulgated baseless conspiracy theories that widespread election fraud led to Joe Biden's victory over Trump in the 2020 election. Watkins served as the site administrator for 8chan from 2016 until his resignation in November 2020. If you remember that. I remember that. That was only a couple months ago. Hopefully I do remember that. He is the son of Jim Watkins. That's his name. The owner and operator of 8chan. I remember my uncle was trying to tell me that this guy was 17. And I'm like, no. But the MSM wants people to think, like a year or two ago, they were telling everyone that this guy was 17. And now they're telling everyone that his son is 17. So again, Ron Watkins is CodeMonkey, who was the board admin. And then his dad, Jim, literally owned 8chan. Operator of 8chan and 2channel. So that's where the MSM is saying that they're 17 because, yeah. So if you guys haven't seen, there's a new, hold on, let's do this. I'm going to pull up the trailer, but I'm not going to play it, but I'm just going to pull it up for reference. I don't even remember the name. Let's see. Into the Storm, that's what it's called. And I think that's coming out like this weekend, maybe? Does it come out today? I feel like it was supposed to come out like any day now. Here we go. 17, Into the Storm. And so in this, they basically make it look like that the documentary is all about CodeMonkey. They like follow him everywhere. And there's a clip where he's like, oh, you're trying to figure out who Q is? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, well, let's continue then. And so a lot of people were worried when the MSM started saying that he was 17 because they thought that, oh my God, CodeMonkey, he did this documentary. Obviously, he's like okay with this, so he must be in on it, right? So they thought that he basically had sold out or that he was, whatever. But I wanted to read an official response from him on his Telegram that maybe you guys haven't seen because he addressed it. Short response, but he says, I've noticed that the fake news media is falsely reporting that I am Q. It is simply not true. Here are the facts. I am not Q. I've never spoken privately with Q. I don't know who Q is. So there you go. And he also made some posts about how when this guy was making the documentary, he didn't really know it was HBO. It was just like this guy, and he said he was doing it on like online movements or something like that. Like it sounded like they kind of tricked him maybe into being a part of this. And, our friend Jordan Sather, he is also in this documentary and was kind of tricked into being in it. Like, he didn't know he was going to be in it, and they put him in the trailer. So I almost get the feeling, you guys, that this is going to be not what we expect it is. Like, what if this documentary actually, what if its intent is to bring people in on both sides? You know, obviously we're going to watch it because we pay attention to that stuff. Or I shouldn't assume, but most of us will probably watch it. But it's going to bring in the other people. It's going to bring in the people who are anti-17 into watching it. And what if it actually has a reverse psychology effect and it actually gives credibility to it in some form or another, like South Park did? If you guys saw South Park, even though on the surface it looked like they were making fun of it, of course they make fun of everything, even things they like, especially things they like. They ended it by giving 17 credit and basically saying that 17, that the people in the show who were the 17 followers were right the whole time, which was about them abusing kids, and in the TV show it turned out that like the editors started messing with the character in the show, like broke the fourth wall, and he was trying to tell everyone what was going on, and they were like editing him into like other countries and like, you know, stuff like that. You just got to go watch it if you haven't seen it. But it gave it credit. It basically in the story of the TV show in South Park, the 17 guy was right. So what if that happens with this too? What if it brings people in and it actually gives it credibility? I mean, these are the kind of white hat operations that are, I like whoever said Operation Wake Up. I really liked that because that's a great way to describe it. They have to show us what they are doing, but now the energy is different, so people flip it and understand what's really happening. Yep. Man, I'm excited. This path that we're on, this timeline that we're on, I know some people are like really beat down because past couple months didn't go the way that they expected. Didn't go the way I expected either. But now I'm like even more excited and confident in the timeline than ever, because it's like we're on this smooth, amazing timeline now where this acceleration of the awakening is at a whole new level that I don't think it could have reached if those events we were expecting to happen back at the end of last year had actually happened in the form of the military and that kind of stuff. I feel like we found this perfect timeline where it's going to roll out very smooth and give the world the most opportunity to catalyze their awakening. I really do feel that. All right. Yes, that was the thing about the CodeMonkey. And that's going to be a fascinating thing to watch when it comes out. That documentary. I'm definitely going to be watching it. All right. So we talked about... Oh, it was actually the Daily Beast that said that Ron Watkins was Q. That's what I wrote down. I saw that from the Daily Beast. Which I'm pretty sure, isn't that, that's Will Somner, right? Will Somner. So yes, Daily Beast says Ron Watkins is Q. Got that. Oh, here's another thing. Going back to crypto for a little bit. Bitcoin, they're talking about, is potentially going to have a $20,000 carbon tax per Bitcoin, from what I understand. So earlier we were talking about proof of work versus proof of stake and Federated Byzantine Agreement, which is what XRP, XLM, and Flare networks use. Proof of stake is what Ethereum and all the ERC20 uses, and proof of work is what Bitcoin uses. And so proof of work, like I said, very energy intensive. I think I read that it's like a whole... I don't remember, but it was some ridiculous statistic where it was like to send one Bitcoin is like equivalent to like a whole day of powering your home or something. Which I don't know if that's exactly true, but that was an interesting thing. But what they're saying is that there could be a carbon tax on Bitcoin for this reason. And, a $20,000 carbon tax that'd be insane. And I You guys know my thoughts generally about Bitcoin in the long run. I don't think it's here for the long run. I think it's serving its purpose, and something like this, something like a carbon tax, would really drive away people from Bitcoin, right? Go over to something like XRP, where it's green, it's free, doesn't use physical energy. Like, why are we gonna, if we're talking about digital money, why are we gonna put in physical energy to make digital money? Like, it's just, that's a backwards system. Oh my gosh, I'm getting these weird static alien noises in my headphones. Very strange. Claudette says, who's Will? Will Somner is one of the guys who writes for the Daily Beast, and he's one of the ones that Jordan has gone back and forth with. Like, he's always attacking Jordan on online and stuff. Big anti-human person. How does digital mining work? It confuses me. Are you referring to like Bitcoin? So the way that Bitcoin mining works is, let's see how to put this succinctly. The mining mechanism is how miners receive their Bitcoin, right? So basically a computer will run through an intense set of algorithms, and those algorithms are processing the Bitcoin network. So it's not actually like there's kind of a misconception that it's just endless, or I don't even know what I'm saying. Words are hard sometimes. Let me start over. When you're mining Bitcoin, so say I have a big fancy computer and I'm mining Bitcoin. When my computer's doing its work to mine that Bitcoin, it's actually processing the transactions on the network. That's the physical work that's being carried out. That's why it's called proof of work, because the physical work that the system does on the computer is the proof to the network. Okay, does that make sense? So the mining is just the reward system. So basically, the Bitcoin network needs computers as networks, as node points. But what's going to be the incentive for somebody to actually do that? Who's going to just put their computer on the network for no reason? It has to be a reward system. So they reward you with Bitcoin, and that's what mining is. So you volunteer your computer to be on the network and do the processing for the network, and it rewards you in Bitcoin. And that's digital mining, basically. Oh man, my thing is really freaking out. This is so weird. It's like making weird clicking noises, and it's like when you're on the freeway and your radio starts picking up on other stuff. It's like happening with my headphones right now. It's like tick, 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 tick. It's Sumner. He hears us. Blessings on everyone's day. We'll come back later to watch fully. Sending love, Jason Alexis. Thanks, Tiffany. All right. Yeah, hope that answered your question, Joseph. Makes sense. So, yeah, Bitcoin, potential $20,000 carbon tax. The president of Tanzania, I hope I'm saying that right, Tanzania, he has died mysteriously. Okay, this is big because this is the guy who, this is the president who was outing COVID as a scam, basically, and who had tested, sorry, I just got a text from someone. I didn't read it. No, mind fart. Oh my God, what was I talking about? Oh my gosh. Total brain fart. Oh yes, the president. So he had tested several different inanimate objects and animate, including, like, he tested a goat. They tested a pawpaw fruit, which is ironic because, you know, in the testing of the pawpaw, was it back here that the guy's name is Pawpaw? Pew Pawpaw Thaw. Just a funny synchronicity. And so this president had tested all these things, and they found that they were getting positive COVID tests. And so they brought that out to the public, and of course, the different world governing bodies attacked them and blah, blah, blah. And now he has showed up dead. I think I should check how. I'm pretty sure it was like in a hotel room or something. But that kind of shows me that, like, you know, when we're talking about have white hats taking control behind the scenes, that they haven't totally. Because otherwise I don't think stuff like this would be happening. Here we go. Tanzania's President John Magufuli dead at 61. I think they're trying to say it's COVID too. She said he died from the heart disease that had plagued him for a decade. She said burial arrangements were underway and announced 14 days of mourning and the flying of flags. He's not been seen in public since February 27th, sparking rumors he had contracted COVID. They denied on March 12th that he had fallen ill. Yeah, that was on the 17th too, so that's really interesting. But something good to tell, you know, your friends and family. Like, talk about this. Like, they tested inanimate objects. They tested non-human objects for COVID that couldn't have COVID, like fruit and like a goat and other things. I guess the media could say a goat has COVID maybe, because they try to say dogs have COVID, but a pawpaw and like a bunch of other stuff. And he was attacked for it, and now he's dead. All right. I know people are talking about a certain somebody in the chats. I'm gonna not talk about that for this one. We'll just leave that. Yeah, you guys feel free to talk about it, but maybe I'll address it another time. All right, so we talked about that. We talked about the surge in StormX, and that you can buy StormX on BitTrue if you want with Ethereum. We talked about Ripple and the judge in the Ripple case talking about how XRP has utility that distinguishes it from Ether and Bitcoin, and how thematically he was siding with XRP and saying it's been treated unfairly. That's the judge. We talked about DNI Ratcliffe discussing UFOs. We talked about Barron's birthday. And the one other thing I have on here is that the U.S. Mint has been canceling silver purchases. And I guess lots of other like governments and silver providers worldwide have also been canceling silver purchases. So that's a really strong sign that the silver squeeze is really imminent. And I own a little bit of silver. I don't have too much, but I've got a little bit. And yeah, it's interesting because it's kind of like XRP where there's so much price action, right? Like obviously so many people are buying silver right now. Like the Money Metals that I bought silver from, they send me an email like every week and they're like, the demand for silver is crazy. Like we're barely getting enough in and like that kind of stuff. And yet the price of silver has barely moved. It actually went down a little bit. So just like with XRP, you know, artificial market suppression that I think we're going to see skyrocket when the time is right. So if you can get silver, it might be a good idea, but don't fret on it either. Like personally, I feel like the crypto is going to be a better return of investment than silver, but silver's cool because you get to hold it. Here's a piece. Here's a Mayan calendar piece of silver. I like the kind of cool collectible ones. Here's a Bigfoot one. This is my first piece. This came from our friend Eric and Nancy. Shout out to them. Bigfoot. And it's got a big old T on the back. So silver's cool. Good opportunity there. And the only other thing I wanted to say is that YouTube has been deleting comments on my videos in real time. So if you have left a comment and you've noticed it's not there, I'm not deleting any comments. I haven't even had any bad comments that I've like had to delete. But I've been noticing like I'll get a notification and it'll say someone's left a comment, and then I click on it to go to the comment and it's not there. There's no comment there, but I get the notification for it. And same thing was happening to Zen God. I talked to him and same exact thing. So both of our channels are getting suppressed. I know for sure this channel shadow banned. and it's already got like 2 strikes. And so this on top of it, they're not even letting people comment. So I had people reach out to me being like, are you deleting my comments? And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's kind of a bummer, but just so you guys know. And if that's happened to you, let me know. What about Richard Grinnell, says OGOG. Oh, you're going to have to go back and watch when this ends. We talked about how Richard Grinnell, we talked about how Google said he was president today. And we talked about his responses on Twitter and how he was basically having fun with it. And yeah, it's a very interesting set of events. But yeah, you can go back and watch that. Jaden. It's okay. I know when people type my name, it often corrects to Jane or Jaden. It's all good. I am in a state that is not allowed with BitTrue. I downed the app and selected my qualified state, but I don't feel certain to use it. I'm able to use the app. What did you do again? That's exactly what I did. And everyone else I know that uses it too. Just try not to keep anything on there long term. That would be my advice. Like if you're going to buy something on BitTrue, try to move it out. Like my XDC is on BitTrue, and I'm going to be moving that out soon. So I'm probably going to get the Descent wallet, which supports supports XDC, and the Descent wallet, I believe, also supports Spark and the Flare. Spark and the Flare network. So I'm probably going to be getting the Descent wallet, it's kind of like the Ledger. It's just another brand. But yeah, with the BitTrue thing, it's worked for me. Like I'm in the same scenario, and the app has been working. And yeah, just use it. Be discerning and try to move it off so that you own it sovereignly. With any exchange, I tell people, don't keep stuff on exchanges long term, because technically you don't own it. If you are keeping money on an exchange, you're keeping it in their wallet, and they have the keys, which means they technically legally own your crypto. So you want to get it off an exchange. You want to be self-custody. You want to have it in your own wallet where you own and know your passcode that you've written down physically. Never write your passcode to your crypto wallets down digitally. Never take a picture of it. Never put it in an Excel file. That's huge. This is my personal opinion and what lots of other people would say too. Obviously, you do you. But you leave yourself very vulnerable to getting your crypto hacked into if you have a digital copy of your passphrase. And I know that's like a common thing. People are like, oh yeah, I want to keep it, and something on paper I might lose, so I want to put it in a document. But if your computer gets hacked, or even if one of these exchanges get hacked, they can get your money out of there. So self-custody, have your own sovereign wallet, be your own bank, basically, and then you own your money and nobody can take it from you unless they know your passkey. And so write your passkey down, which they give you with these wallets like Ledger or Zum or Trust Wallet. They'll give you the passkey, and you want to put it somewhere safe. Don't take a picture. Don't make a digital copy of it. Just happened here earlier. Comment deleted in the live chat, Divine? Really? That's a bummer. I saw it happening like with videos after the fact with the normal comments. Or did you try to leave a normal comment and it got deleted? Because if it's happening in the chat too, then damn. Dang. So how many people are actually watching right now? That's what I want to know. When does Flare go live? Flare goes live sometime around May or June, probably. They said end of quarter one, quarter two. I believe it's going to be probably very synchronistic timing with other things going on in the world at that time. So, but May, June is what we've been told, sometime around there. Could be before. Could happen tomorrow for all we know. It won't happen tomorrow, but theoretically, it's at their discretion whenever they're ready. Descent, is that how it is spelled? I have been looking for a wallet. It's D''Cent. D''Cent. And I believe that they have, here, I'll show you guys. Hey, Descent Wallet, sponsor me. They have a hard wallet like this, which you pay for, and I believe they also have a software wallet on the App Store for free. I think. I don't know for sure. And again, Descent Wallet will hold your XDC. It'll hold Flare. whatever Pluto is. But XDC and Flare mainly. Those are the only reasons I'm getting it. It won't hold your XRP as far as I know. So, yeah. Hopefully Ledger brings on XDC soon, because I don't want to have to buy another one, but if I need to. I've heard the rule of thumb that they say with the ledgers and paying for them, or sorry, the hard wallets and paying for them, is if you own more than 5 times the price of the wallet in crypto, if you're going to store more than 5 times the price, so say it's a $100 wallet, if you have $500 or more, they say it's worth it security-wise to get it. But if you have under that, then just get one of the free phone wallets, like the Trust wallet or the XUMM, XUMM, for XRP specifically. Yeah, Keenan, if my friend Keenan's texted me, I have been seeing your text, but I haven't been able to respond. If you're watching, text me about crypto, Ethereum stuff. I'll get back to you after this, my brother. Tomorrow is Ripple Riddler date 321. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, interesting. That is very interesting. Yep, normal chat comment. Weird, Divine. That is weird. Is the Ledger Nano the best? There's no best. I use a Ledger Nano S. They also have the X, which is like you have Bluetooth and some more features on that one. There is no best. It just depends what your needs are. You know, what different wallets support different coins. They're different prices, different user interfaces. Yeah, but I personally have the Ledger. I got it back when I was new to it and I didn't know much, but it served me fine and I haven't had any issues with it or had any complaints or anything. Exodus and Atomic Wallet are nice as well. Yes. Thanks, OG. OG. I just made the connection that you're probably OG in the Telegram OG group. Good to see you here, man. Okay. All right, you guys. Any other questions before I head out of here? I think I hit everything on my list. Yep. Happy birthday, Baron. Oh, quick shout out to my friend, Starseed Salsa. I don't know if he wants his real name out there, but Starseed Salsa on Instagram. And I believe, let's see, I haven't been to the website yet, but this is my personal friend who makes amazing super health food, superfood salsa. Yeah, here we go. Starseed Salsa, nourishing bodies, ascending souls, tantalizing the taste buds. No joke, you guys, this is the best salsa I've ever tried. Oh, it was so good. I got 2 different kinds. I got one that was a green, that was not spicy, and it was perfect for like salads and tacos and chips and even just eating it by the spoonful. It has like moringa and spirulina and ashwagandha and like stinging nettle root and leaf and like all these superfoods. And then the other one he had was like a super spicy one, and I don't know what was in it, but that one, like I took a bite and I felt like I was like gonna ascend. Like my whole body started sweating, but it felt so good, and it was just like a cleanse just by eating a bite of salsa. So yeah, check out his website. He told me that right at this moment, I think he can't take orders on the website because there's some kind of bug. So if you do want to order some of his salsa, you can get some. You can message him on Instagram. I'm just pulling it up. It's at starseed.salsa. Looks like that. Starseed.salsa. And you can send him a message. And he will mail you the salsa. Literally showed up in a box in the mail. Super fresh, super good. Oh, I'm going to go eat some right now, I think. So yeah, I like to give shout outs to my friends who are making cool creative stuff. So if you've got anything that you want to share, that you'd like me to share on here, cool creation, just reach out to me and I will share your awesome creation with the world. Co-creative. We got to co-create the world together. All right, guys. I think that's it for me. Alexis is right. Jace and Starseed Salsa are both Geminis. Maybe that's why I like the salsa so much. some dang good Gemini salsa. Had to have a last name on Google. Might as well make it OGOG. It's the OG. All right, y'all. Good hanging out. What do I want to say? I guess let's burn some sweetgrass here and close out our little session. And see you off to your next place in this reality that we call home, wherever it may be, whether you're going somewhere digital or physical or etheric. I wish you blessings on your path. Sweetgrass. Love it. All right, you guys. I love you all. Please hit like, subscribe, all the things that we're supposed to say. And reach out to me if you guys would like a crypto session, one-on-one. They are hour-long Zoom call crypto sessions. And I believe I've gotten back to everybody. I think I got so many emails, though. There's one person I haven't gotten back to by the name of Charles. So Charles, if you're watching, I'll get back to you very soon. And anybody else, if you have reached out to me and you haven't heard back from me yet, please reach out to me again, because I probably just missed it. There's a couple people that I'm waiting to hear back from again. So yeah, if you haven't heard from me in a little bit, please reach out to me again. And yeah, I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace out, my cosmic family. Until next time.